Greetings, everyone. Glad to see you here. I'm setting up our area communities live. So right now I'm working on Facebook and YouTube. So I'm pulling everybody in and lighting my candles. Thank you for joining me. Anyone that is in at this moment, getting my candles together. And then we're going to go ahead and do these readings. I have my box of stuff available. And we'll go ahead and cleanse the cards. Great to have you on here. Thank you so very much. Wow, this is my morning ritual. Right there. That's it right there. Right there. Greetings. These are some of the things that I do every day before I do a reading. So glad to have you on here. If you have a question, you can go ahead and post it. We'll be doing a general reading and a clearing for whatever the day is. Hey, hey, Jamie. Thank you. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You are fine, Jamie. Thanks. I appreciate it. Okay. We're just getting set up, and I'm just waiting for folks to come on in. I appreciate you. There. So this is an oil and water candle that I created, and I put a little bit of essential oil or a scented oil in there, a ritual oil, as well as your good old vegetable oil, and that keeps the wick lit. And as long as there's oil surrounding it, the wick and the actual disc that holds the wick, then it will stay lit. So usually my candle will stay lit for about 6 hours. This water candle with about a tablespoon of house oil, vegetable oil. You can use olive oil as well. Yeah. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that. It's really pretty. So I'm going to leave that one right here. Put this one back on the altar. There we go. Deciding which cards I'll use today. I think I'm going to use the melanated tarot deck. I know I am. There we go. And that's the one right there. Very good. Glad to have you on. And for those that are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. I do tarot a little bit different than the standard. We get to learn what the blockage is. We get to learn what's going on, and then what's blocking you from being able to make progress in that particular area. So it doesn't matter whether it's love or if it's health. your job, there's no bearing, because whatever that blockage is keeping you from being able to have what you desire anyways. So what we do is we identify what the blockage is so that we can say, this is the issue. This is what I'm going through, or this is what's keeping me from moving forward or obtaining what I desire. And the interesting thing about all of that is that you have this picture in your mind of what you desire, but because there's so much negative programming, literally it creates a field that pushes things away. And then you're wondering, why is it getting further and further away from me? And it's not necessarily getting further away from you. It's just that you're creating the field of resistance. So the quicker we are to identify, that is definitely an asset, right? So if it's love, if it's a relationship, if it's your job, or the desire to have a job, whatever that is, then start greetings to everyone. So, and I'm going on the other side just for some technical, just to make sure that the audio is coming through good on the YouTube side. So I appreciate everybody's patience. We're going to go ahead and get started on the reading in just a second. Excellent. Good. I can hear that, and I'm assuming Facebook community can hear me as well. So I think, thank you. Hey, Gwendolyn. Now, Gwendolyn, I don't know if you're Shanae on the other side. I'm wondering, is that Shanae? So, but if it is, then what I'm going to encourage everyone to do is to truly allow the YouTube channel to grow, because it functions just as algorithms, just as much as it does on Facebook. So it matters. And I have a beautiful, large community on that, an interactive community on Facebook. However, in YouTube, but I have been on hiatus for a long time, so people are probably just barely getting notices that, oh, she's back up. Oh, Gwendolyn says, yes, I just telepathically sent that it was. Oh, you are so cute. And yeah, that's what I sensed already. Well, when I seen it the first, I said, oh, this looks like it's Gwendolyn. So, okay, I'm going to go ahead and light that incense. And so I have my cauldron and then my top for my cauldron, just so that you can see. And I put, it just depends on what I'm burning for the day. Then I use the larger pot. But if I'm just burning the clearing to clear the cards, then I just put my sage at the top, or whatever I'm using. Because you can use rosemary, you can use eucalyptus. A lot of people don't know that. To clear your cards, it does not have to be only sage. It's a clearing element. So if it clears, if that element or that natural resource cleanses the air, cleanses the breath, cleanses the body, then it's good for cleansing cards. So think about it that way, because really this is about the inner side now being used as a tool on the outside, right? So we want to definitely honor that. There you go. All right. Thank you everyone for coming in. Let me just go ahead and light this up. So, oh wow, it smells so wonderful. There you go. And I'll turn my chimes down. A little loud, I think. There. Oh my gosh. Look at that. So that is gorgeous. We're going to go ahead and just cleanse those cards right here. I like this deck of cards, the Melanated Tarot. The images are the same. The difference is that every card is a melanated indigenous person of various backgrounds. So some are African, some are Native American, some are Pakistani, East Indian, Asian. There you go. Wow. That smells so delicious. That smells so delicious. I have to take a sip of my coffee. Are you always drinking coffee and tea early in the day? Like, what is your preferred? Oh, welcome. If you popped on into my YouTube, go ahead, please pop into the chat. I really appreciate it. We'll be doing a general read and then a clearing based on that. And greetings to everyone that's on my Facebook feed as well. And eventually I'm going to be able to put into my... Oh, Sharda, hey there, darling. I do remember you, honey. Absolutely. I'm going to put my YouTube link over on the Facebook so that you can pop on over there and you can like and subscribe to that, because that is definitely the hot spot. And you'll get the alerts there quicker than you'll get them on Facebook. So... And then you said you came to me asking about your husband's job. Good news, as you said, he got through the interview. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and then I remember that reading. I said it wasn't he that was worried. Hi, Kendra. Start great. It wasn't he that was worried. It was you. I said, oh, there's where the worrisome is. And so, yeah, that is a really interesting. Very, very good. I appreciate that. So, okay, hold on just 1 second. Let me just go over here. And I'm going to send the link to everyone for the live stream. It's really important on YouTube. So let me just get that. And yeah, Star Greed. Yeah, Star Greed. So those in my YouTube community, if you're wondering, what is Star Greed? Well, in a lot of medical communities, especially of old, they used to say, well met, or well met, like this, right? And so we can be well met if we're in the same like mind. However, because we're evolving so much and we're recognizing that we are divine beings receiving message from a powerful source, like the star card, right, in Tarot, then it's Star Greed. Star, literally right here. And I greet you as a star. I greet you in your higher self. So that is really, really, really important. Okay, just 1 second. I am going to put this link on this side. If you are able to come over to the YouTube side, that would be great. And there's the link. I just posted it in the Facebook community. Thank you so very much. So if you're able to come over there, that would be great. And I'm on the live stream. And thank you, those that have already popped in to the YouTube site. We're going to go ahead and get started in just a moment. Thank you for popping in. Hey, Nikki, Star Greed. Very good. So if you're able to pop into the YouTube side, I just posted the link right there. And then when you get on this side, go ahead and post in the chat. I believe the chat is open. It should be open. I appreciate everyone's community conversation. So thank you. We're going to go ahead and pull 3 cards. These are general cards. This is not before, present, future. This is a story of how it's maneuvering today. Thank you for popping in. I appreciate that. And I'll post And for those that would like to join our community that are actually new or on the YouTube side, I am going to post the group. It's a free group so that you can join that. So if you're on the YouTube side and you're wondering, where is she at? What is she talking about? I'm posting it over there. So I'm doing some cross connection right there. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining and coming in. We're going to go ahead and pull cards right now. 3 cards. This is how this day, which is December 3rd, Thursday, how we are working through this energy. We're going to look at what blocks might be there that's keeping us from being able to actualize this energy to the best of its potential, okay? Oh, I have some cards I want to talk there. I literally want to jump out. I love it. All right. First card. Oh, Ace of Cups reversed. There you go. Ace of Cups reversed. Second card, Page of Cups. Wow. Love that. Third card. This is an amazing day. Ace of Wands. Look at that. And oh my gosh, look at this. And the court cards. This is a fun experience. This is positive. This is energy. This is how we're supposed to transform this whole entire day. I love it. I love it. Okay, so the Ace of Cups. So let's just get into the aspect of it, and we'll deal with the reversals later. But the Ace of Cups, there's that card, right? There's the Ace of Cups. Let me see it. I'm going to just post it a little clearer right there. So we look at this card, and the Ace of Cups literally has the hand coming out of the wind, the spirit, and the cup runneth over, right? However, we could get to a place where too much stuff is coming in. That's like over communication, too much emotions that are just pouring into you, right? And that could actually be overwhelming. And it's really interesting the way the cards are set up right now, that this is about releasing the overwhelm, but recognizing the power of receiving, right? So there's got to be a balance. And this card alone, the Ace of Cups, says that the spirit is descending upon this experience, right? But it could be overwhelming. It could be the right information, but it's as if it could be difficult to hold. It could be difficult to grasp, and it's so much that's coming in that it's that it doesn't leave any room for acceptance, which is what this card, indicates at this moment, right? So we can look at that and go, whoa, this is a lot of stuff's happening and I'm not able to carry this, etc. However, the card came reversed. So this is where you recognize, oh, my cup was running over. It was so much. But now that I'm just going to say a certain amount of time, and the reason why we know that time was involved is because there's a little disc right there, and that it looks like a pentacle, right? But it also looks like a clock. I always look at these little images and how they come up. So a little pentacle or a little timetable right there. It says, after amount of time, then you could release all of what was overwhelmed and really enjoy, because now you've been able to take control of it, right? So even though it looks like you're in control of it, a cup standing right here is not really control. Think of it. But if you hold it like this and you're holding the bottom of the cup, you are now in better control. And you can release the overwhelm, which is beautiful. You can release that overwhelm, right? However, notice that the dove is at the bottom. The dove is at the bottom. And so now the overwhelm is being balanced by spirit and the higher self, right? I love that card. That's a great card. And it's an ace. It's an ace. And so this is about your communication, your relationship, it could be about your health. It could be about your arrangement. Hey, Chris, it could be about your education, but it's definitely about this communication and the relationship to that, right? And it's still coming from out of nowhere, and that out of nowhere isn't a bad thing, as in as quickly as one thing was happening, as it can be as quickly as the change happens so that it's beneficial, right? So how do we know it's beneficial? Now, this is what I love. It's the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups, oh my gosh. The page is this child. And I'm like hanging it over here. Yeah, it's kind of loose and it's fun and it's encouraging. And it offers support and it's willing to be brand new in its experience of how it cares. Now, if you notice, he has the fish in the cup, right? No, he's not trying to drink the fish. He's not trying to kill the fish. He's really trying to figure out, how do I support this fish so it can thrive in the container I had it, right? And so here, the cup represents that communication, the container. It represents relationship to whatever it is, a container, right? But how do you balance that so that you can really allow the spirit and the higher self to be congruent with what you are doing? Well, I'm going to say the page, he's a little lighthearted. So this would definitely be, I'm going to say, just energetically, it's about keeping things light and fun and enjoyable and beautiful and fresh. Now, why do I say that we're dealing with the heart and communication? Because he's wearing red. Red is grounding right here at his legs, the stability, but also it's in his arms, which is his full tunic, right? So when you look at that and you see this card like that, and you go, oh my gosh. So his heart is full. He's desiring to feel, or she's desiring to feel, and to be connected to what it is that they are endeavoring to care for. So whatever or whoever it is that you're desiring to care for, that it's definitely heart related. I love the fact that the card has the deep blue here, because we're dealing with this deeper blue. It matches literally almost the deep blue of his headdress. So we're really looking at an aspect of I'm going to say inner wisdom in how you care for your communication and your relationship. And I love this. They say don't throw the baby out with the water, right? Don't throw the water out with the baby, or the baby out with the water, right? So this could be the very case. Like, and I'm just going to say this is really interesting. This card it's got a lot of stuff going on. So let's just say we have this young person, inexperienced in a particular way, and goes to the ocean and has his vessel, and he scoops up some water. It could be to the river, not necessarily to the ocean, but to the river. He scoops up some water and he thinks, oh, okay, well, I'm just going to take a little bit of water, not salt water, just some fresh water. And when he gets his cup to his mouth, he sees that he has caught a fish, right? So we can catch some unexpected stuff. We could catch an unexpected conversation or unexpected relationship. And then all of a sudden, which I absolutely love this. That's why I love this card. it falls in love with what it caught. Doesn't understand it, doesn't even know how it can be contained, but it does know that it is that it has the ability. But there still could be some inexperience there because we're dealing with the page, which means now it has to learn. And so we might be in a place, this is energy of today, surrendering the old emotions for a higher perspective and better experience, knowing that the divine and the higher self are merging together for the best experience, right? But in the same breath, now it's like, okay, so how can you do that without being so rigid or so stressed or so worried, right? You know, the holder could worry, will my fish have enough water in my vessel? Or how do I do this, right? But I love this little thing, right? That's how we can be about how we're dealing with our circumstances. Interestingly enough, look at that Ace of Wands. That Ace of Wands says you have the power to create exactly what you want. So what do you need to create? This young person may not had thought when he first caught the fish, do I need to have a bigger container? Oh, there it is right there. Create what's needed and necessary for you to be able to care for what you have now acquired or increased in your life. Allow the higher self to assist you in doing that in a better way that benefits everything, benefits how you communicate with your loved ones or with your workmates or with your education, with yourself. How do you communicate with yourself, right? Because even that aspect of this card of the page could be the personal self and then the subconscious self. And this is the subconscious and the personal self are trying to figure out how do I communicate even to myself that helps me to have better experience, and that I'm really thinking about my higher good. What do I need to create to do that? Isn't that interesting? That is so cool. So now we look and we say, well, what are the blockages? What's keeping me from realizing this goal, right? Isn't that interesting? I love that. Go ahead. If for some reason you are in this chat, especially on my Facebook, especially on the YouTube, because I see everybody in here, and it's resonating with you, looking at your communication, either with other people in your life that may have been challenging, especially amidst, our health experiences in this country, right? And so there could be the challenges and struggles of communication and relationship and how you're dealing with people that either you work with or people that you live with or whatever it is, right? Or it could be even yourself. And I'm going to say that above all, like, what is that communication in the self that needs to rise to the next level? If there's any of that right there, then definitely go ahead and tap in and share your comments on the thread. Just one second. I'm going to go over here. Yeah. It is so interesting how that all happens. So I am going to pull the next card, and I'm pulling it from the middle because it represents the block. What is the block that keeps us from being able to realize how to deal with that emotion, or how to deal with the subconscious, or how to deal with the people in our life that we have communication with, right? So that's the blockage. So we're going to pull that card. Queen of Pentacles. Isn't that interesting? She's reversed. I'm going to show you what she looks like forward. Queen of Pentacles, but she came up reverse. So what is the blockage? This is really interesting. So let's talk about the Queen. The Queen is actually a person. So whereas the page is more of an attitude, a behavior, but the queen is a person. So, and she's holding the pentacle right here. So when we look at that, she's holding this pentacle, and the queen is really talking about or exercising dominion over her house, having power, right? And in this case, it could be that she's too domineering in her power. She's too overbearing in her emotional state. She wants to control everything, right? Now, if there was no king in the house, literal, she needs to control it. But when you have other people in your house, whether it's your children, your parents, grandparents, your mate, there has to be a balance of how the control is in the home. And that's basically connected to respect. The card came reversed. So the blockage is connected to the a person that we may feel is too domineering. It doesn't mean that this is the person you have to move aside, which is really interesting because it's a person. It's about acquiescing. It's about surrendering. This person may need to surrender and share the power. So that's the blockage, which is interesting because when she's this way, the queen is really about a lot of ego. And she is rightfully so. She's done whatever she's needed to make sure her house is cared for and that her needs are protected. Her kingdom is protected, right? Her position is protected. This card reverse, what the blockage is to release any overt control, that it needs to be balanced. And we're now finding ourselves evolving through that. And someone might say, well, no, woman needs to be such and such and so and so. She needs to always be in control. Well, you can be in control, but it's really about being in control of yourself. And so the blockage connected here is about self-control and relinquishing, sharing, having the ability to share in that account, that responsibility or the accountability. And that might be what's difficult. But it becomes difficult because, again, that's the ego, right? She's wearing a lot of red, but she has white underneath. So I like this card. Let me just put it up right here. She has a lot of red, but the white underneath means her heart is pure. So there's no malice either way, right? So we're going to look at that. There's no malice either way when you look at this card, whether it's reversed or not. She has a lot of red, but if you notice that her back has green on it, green could be envy and green can be healing. And usually green is associated with the heart chakra. So this right there seems like it could feel like this person feels defeated. So you may feel, and that could be an additional block, that feeling defeated or feeling unloved. You notice that the green tunic goes all the way down to the ground, but it's reversed, right? So this person, instead of having the love surround them, they feel like that love has turned its back on them, right? So in here, it would be love would be draping this person, but they put love behind themselves. As in the queen puts it, like that's not really what I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about love. I only want to concern myself with what I can tangibly hold on to. And this is reversed. It's saying that's what we actually need to work on, is bringing love back to the heart center. So that everything is not about the what you can get out of it physically, but what are you going to get out of it for the totality of it. And the reason why that's important is because this is the card that showed up first, the Ace of Cups. And this is literally about having a sense of control of communication in the relationships that you have, and for it to be balanced, to be lighthearted, play, recognize that you have created something beside yourself that you are in communication with, a relationship with. But in that process, you can create something great with it. And in doing so, the blockage that needs to be removed is allowing yourself to let go of the ego. Let go of the ego. Allow yourself to be loved. I think that's really hard today. I think it's really hard to allow ourselves to be loved because we're so afraid. We're afraid somebody is going to step in and hurt us some kind of way. Because look at all the stuff that's happening. Like, are we getting the best interest from our government, from our workplace, and maybe it's strained and stressful and all kinds of stuff, right? In our workplace, in our education is being manipulated, so people don't know the truth. They don't know where they come from. They don't know how they're there. They see other people coming into the country, leaving the country. They can't go anywhere. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. So there's a lot of things that keep us from being able to trust. So it creates a lot of blockage. So this is about surrendering to that process. And so what do you need to do to surrender to that process? And so if this is definitely hitting home for you, what I'm going to encourage you to do is you can book a private session with me. I actually have a special for this month. It's a $20 full reading. So you get a full reading, full clearing on whatever issue that is really causing trepidation. And if you go to my website, I'm thinking, I know I have the link somewhere here. So let me see if I can just post that link. I'll go ahead and share that link with you. You can book. Matter of fact, I'll just give you the full booking link so that you can get that. And the reason why I say that is because there's so much. There is literally so much that keeps us from being able to move forward. And we let those little blockages continue to keep us trapped in our day-to-day. And then it just keeps building and building and building. It's like it becomes a really bad cycle. It's really cyclical. So Nikki yesterday was able to get she was able to get a reading and a clearing, and we did that live online. And so Nikki, if you're still watching right there, and you can post how you felt about that. Danielle was able to get to 0, because basically what we do is we get you to 0. A neutral feeling about the stress. And so if anybody would like a clearing on literally releasing the ego so that you can allow more love to come in, go ahead and put Y. Hey, Shanta, thank you. Start greetings. Thank you. You said this hit home for you. Absolutely. Shanta's on the Facebook feed. And Shanta, I posted, I don't know if I pinned it. I don't think I did. But I posted the YouTube because we're over here on YouTube. So if you're able to jump over here and definitely share that, that would be great. So if anybody would like a clearing, because I've got time right now to do a clearing on releasing ego so you can allow more love to come in so that this day can become more actualized, like you begin to see the benefits of doing that. I'm under my artist name. Oh, hey, JD. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nikki. Oh, so cool. So anyways, yeah, didn't you have an amazing clearing yesterday? Danielle, I think Donna did as well. She said, yes, I just kept feeling lighter and lighter, and even after. That's right. And a lot of stuff actually happens, like miracles happen. And when I tell you miracles, my miracles happen after I do a clearing. And then sometimes I get really stagnant about doing my own reading. I'm going to say it because nobody's perfect. I get stagnant about doing my reading and then checking out, okay, what's blocking you? Like I'll do the reading and then we'll do the extra step. And I think that's because we get so busy in our stuff that we don't want to let me see if I can pin that. There you go. We don't want to acknowledge what we might have to clean up because it takes some work, and you have to acknowledge that you're there. You got to be really present. And nobody likes to have to deal with any crud. Nobody wants to be crying or sniffling or anything like that, right? So that's what ends up happening. It ends up being really messy. But here's the worst part. When you don't clear it out, it like the accumulation of it becomes so toxic. And so I had to stop and do my own work. I had to stop and do my own work. Like, what part of what I'm doing contributes to a lack of peace or lack of focus? Where did I lose my focus at? Like, you have to go personal. So when I look at this Queen of Pentacles right here, this is literally about releasing the control over what I think is important. Like, you know, some people say, but this is a principle. You got it. You have to. You can't. I'm never. Like, right there. We start doing that kind of stuff, we jack some shit up, right? Because now we're so caught in our ego. And then as the queen, you know, she says, off with your head. And then she starts doing that kind of stuff because that's what she does. And she's the master of her own mouth, right? So it doesn't mean that as women, it's queens, or if there are men on here, and this is not necessarily geared or directed only to women. But what I will say is that feminine aspect can get us into a place where we feel we're entitled, and we're not looking at the soul needing to make adjustments in the whole totality, because it's not just about you. Like, it's other people that's watching. It's other communities, members, children, adults that may not have done it the right way, right? And whatever it is, when it comes to the communication between yourself and other people's. The first two cups are the Ace of Cups and the Page of Cups. That was the first two cups for the day, right there. That was the first two. So we're definitely dealing with the emotions. We're definitely dealing with communication. The last card was Ace of Wands. You have the power to change it, and change it in a way that it's going to benefit you. Check that out. It's going to benefit you. And that change will happen as quickly as your attitude changes. Why do we know the attitude needs to change? Because a page is an attitude adjustment. It's about being lighthearted and a little carefree and a little fun and lively, right? However, we come to the person. Who needs to change? The person. Because queens and kings are about the absolute person. Oh, Shanta says, start greetings. Thank you. Oh, you are so welcome. And I'm glad. Thank you. I'm glad that it hit home for you. So, so this is really powerful. Knowing how we can make the change. I'm being guided to pull one more card. Oh, I like this. Amidst all of that. See, cards never lie. They just do not. 8 of Cups reversed. Look at that. That's actually, you would want this to be reversed. Because it means that you, by doing the work, you let go of the toxic stuff that's been holding in the body. Emotions and communication, emotional stuff, feelings get trapped in the body. So this card right here is saying, woo, you let that go completely. You're letting it go, and it releases any negative karma connected to it. Because the 8 is about karma. The 8 is about home. Wow, interestingly enough, Pentacles is the home, right? So we're looking at all of that right there. This is just so powerful. So if you are desiring to get very specific about clearing something, all I'm going to do is encourage you to click the link right there. I have this special. It's $20. It's no big deal, but you'll get a full clearing. So it's an hour with me, and then you'll be able to clear whatever that is, because we're looking at, this is Thursday, so this is energy going between here. It's usually a 3-day transition. It's everything happens in threes. It is a spiritual principle, but I've seen that happen all the time. It's literally 3 seconds, 3 minutes, 3 hours. Oh, it happens like that. 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 moments, 3 years. It happens that way. So, and if you look back in the last 3 days, you'll see there was a serious transition from 3 days ago to where you are today, because things change in 3 days based on what you did 3 days ago. So if you were doing something wonderful 3 days ago that was encouraging for yourself or growth, you're going to start to see that manifest now. If you were doing something that was negative 3 days ago, that was difficult for you and other people, whatever, because we're dealing with ourselves and working to be healthy and all of this stuff, right? You will see the same thing occur, that now it seems like it's getting a little tougher because 3 days of change. So we're on Thursday. So you definitely want to clear whatever is sitting there that's holding any resistance to ego. It could be a sadness about something, like you can't get over something, or your feelings have been hurt by someone and you're really trying to work through that. Maybe you've seen, or heard someone say something and you're trying to overlook it, and it's difficult. All of that keeps you from being able to move forward. All of that keeps you from being able to get what you desire to have. So yeah, it is really, really cool. So I put my link right there. Let me see if I can pin it. Yeah, I pinned it. There you go. And what I will say is, if you're on here right now and you feel like, oh, I want to leave a donation, and this resonates with you, you can do that as well. What I am going to say is that I would rather do the full reading for you for your donation than to just give you this, to clear this is so amazing. But you can always tap in here, because I'm here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And I am definitely always going to do the days pull. I have to do that because it's not just about you, it's about me. Like we have some readers and it's like, oh, you're dealing with this, you're dealing with that. Hi, Maglabi, there you are. Hey there. Yeah, we're sitting out, like a lot of readers, this is what's going on with you, and this is what's going on in this part of your life, and this is how you got to fix it, right? Well, here's what I know as a Tarosophist, that when I pull cards for someone else, those cards are also registering for me. So I also have to look at that, because we are now energetic mirrors to one another. And that is so important. And I'm doing fine. Thank you. So thank you, Shanta. Thank you so very much. So it's an energetic exchange. So when I do, hey, Shanae, thank you, my dear. When I do readings, I look at that and go, okay, that thing just came up. Even though it's for the other person, we're all connected in this circle. So I need to pay attention and see what is it that I need to clear, because there's a spiritual message that's coming in. So anytime someone's on this feed and they post a question, there's an underlying subconscious energy that is also bringing you an answer through those cards, which is pretty cool. So today we pulled the Ace. Let me just recap for anyone. Ace of Cups. This is definitely a positive card. It's reversed, right? Reversed. Ace of Cups reversed is definitely releasing any emotional tension, negative feelings, and then aligning yourself and spirit to be one mind, okay? And it may have taken time, but now the time has been reduced. I love that. So that you can get into action right now. How do we know it has to do with relationships and your feelings and communication? Because the Page of Cups comes up. This is an attitude. The attitude should now lighten up, but also recognize that you do have something that is tender, and it does need attention. How do you care for that? Right? And you've got a good heart for it. That's the red right there. And you're using you're working to use spiritual principles. You can see that by his tunic and his head wrap, using spiritual principles, but he also doesn't want to misstep and then hurt what he's now acquired. So how do you do that? Ace of Wands. Recognize that you have the power to transform something that you have started into something far greater. Right? You can transform that. What's the blockage? You got to get out of your ego. There you go. You have to get out of your ego. You cannot assume or expect that you have to control everything. And that means you also have to acquiesce, be ready to be in peace, make peace, be peaceable, so you can have peace of mind, right? And by clearing that blockage, Eight of Cups reverse. You let go of all the tension and it's carefree and it's fun. You can now move and shift. The moon is at the bottom, which I find very interesting because that's the feminine energy right there. There's the blue sky right there. It's a feminine energy. He's wearing red and his pants are blue, which is interesting. This is reversed. So that meant that now he becomes stable and he can maneuver in his relationships, whatever, in his communication with other people, or even with a particular person, because there's a divine feminine right there. He's able to move, or she's able to move freely and still be connected, because you never get rid of that divine connection right there, which is so powerful. And it's an 8, which means that you release negative karma. You're in the realm of positive karma. So how do we release and shut down the negative stuff? How do we get rid of this block? That's what I'll be working on today. I'm going to do mine. Yeah, thank you, Maglavi. Thank you. Glad to have you on here. Make sure you subscribe. Anybody that's new, please subscribe. Click the button like. Yes, please click like. And share this. You can share it to a friend and say, hey, you got to watch this. Thank you. And then also there's that little bell, and the bell sends you the reminder that I'm on Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm really glad that you're able to pop in. This is awesome. Anyone else have any questions or a thought or an idea? Thank you, Shanta, for confirming. Thank you very much for confirming that it really did help you today. I appreciate this. Again, I love doing readings for everyone, but if we can get to the general reading, a lot of times it just answers a lot of stuff that we were going to ask. Like, it covers it. It's like, what? It's like, oh my God, I was going to ask that, but that reading really took care of the issue. And that is important. That is so important. So we're just about at the top of the hour. I am really glad that that I was able to just connect with everybody here. I posted you have your own tarot, but sometimes you can't connect with the cards. Yeah, sometimes it can happen like that. And I'm going to tell you, I'm going to say this: not every tarot deck is a good deck. But that's just my wisdom and my work over the years. There are great ideas for tarot, but not all of them. If you haven't developed a strong enough understanding of each of the cards and their 4 elements, or it's really 5 elements, but if thank you, Maglabi. He says I'm more intuitive, quite intuitive. Yeah, if you have, if you're needing more time to understand those cards, psychologically and spiritually, then if you have a card deck or tarot deck that doesn't have the basic 4 elements in the way that that you would normally see them, it is really difficult to pick up. Like I've seen cards that are like 2 color cards, where they're black and red, and that's all they are. Everything is black and red, everything. And so you would have to understand the four elements: earth, fire, air, water, and then how the spirit is involved in earth, fire, air, water, based on the images of that are used on the card, even with a 2 color scheme card. It can be really, a test of your wills and education. She said, I designed a deck, but don't know. I have to learn a lot. Well, you know what? I have a class coming up, so I'm glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're listening, and thank you. And then you said that it's a Rider-Waite front deck. That's awesome. Yeah, Rider-Waite is there's a story about that whole thing. I have studied Pamela Coleman Smith. She's the illustrator of the Rider-Waite deck. And she's an indigenous woman, although she doesn't look that way. She's one of her parents is Jamaican, Jamaican hereditary. However, it's not known if they because they lived in Jamaica, that was the citizenship as opposed to their hereditary background. However, she pooled her information and her illustrations based on her knowing and understanding the Jamaican African principles, which is really interesting because she didn't write the tarot. She illustrated the tarot. But Arthur Waite didn't understand a lot of her illustrations because they were really coming from an intuitive place, right? So there's a huge story about that, and I share that in my class, right? So I'm glad you're here because I will share the information for the class. We have enrollment in January, and there's different levels that you could come in, so it's all very affordable. But I've just tarot just fascinates me, and I never thought I would love tarot as much as I do, and it really has helped me in my life. And somebody might say, oh, I don't need tarot, I just have the intuition. This is correct. Yeah, but we don't need color either, but it's beautiful. All the flowers in the flower bed don't need to be different colors, but we're happy when they are. It's the same thing. It's like, okay, well, I don't mind the card because the card helps me, like a book, open up and be able to see and light up something in the back of my subconscious brain. And then also intuitively, not every reader is a witch. Not every reader is a medium. Not every reader is clairvoyant. Not every reader is blah, 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 whatever. And then there's some of us that are. So just depending, if I'm working with a client, and as a medium, a spirit will come in, then I can deliver that message based on the cards that are popping up. So, we all have these talents, and we learn how to use the tool the best way possible. Just like we use a fork. We can eat with our hands, which a lot of people do, but there are also things that we use in the culinary world that help make eating easier. Like when we, if you're eating meat or certain vegetables that you might want to cut, right? Right? It's all relative. So, Maglavi, hold on. Let me just see what she just says, or he just says. I apologize if I'm not addressing you correctly. Combining astrology with tarot. Yes, absolutely. I'm glad. Thank you for acknowledging how helpful this is. Oh, thank you so very much, Shanta. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So I'm going to go ahead and end this broadcast. Thank you so very much for joining me. I'm here Monday through Friday. So I'll be here tomorrow, 8 a.m., 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I posted the link so you can go and book a reading. It's a special for December, especially for December. You can gift it or you can use it for yourself. And it's a $20 full reading opportunity, which also includes a clearing. You actually get the clearing. Okay, blessed be, and I will talk with you soon. Ashe. Mwah.